Hey everyone! So, let's talk about Git. If you're in software development, you know Git is how we all manage our code. And a huge part of that is branching. But man, it can get messy, right? So how do you keep it all straight when you have a whole team working together? That's what we're diving into today. Two super popular workflows that bring some serious order to that potential chaos.
I mean, this is the big question, isn't it? You've got multiple developers all pushing changes, sometimes to the very same files. How on earth do you stop the whole project from just turning into a complete mess? Well, that's exactly the problem these branching strategies are built to solve.
You can think of these models as the traffic laws for your code. They give you a clear, structured way to build new features, test them out, and get them released. It's all about turning that potential free-for-all into a smooth, coordinated dance. So, let's kick things off with a real classic.
All right, first up is a model called Git flow, and I absolutely love this analogy. Think of it as a fortress for your code. It's all about building these protective walls and layers to make sure everything is rock solid and stable.
Okay, well, at first glance, this looks a little complicated, right? And you're not wrong, but that complexity is there for a reason. See all those different lines running alongside each other? Each one is a different type of branch, and they all have a very specific job to do in this highly structured system. Let's peel back the layers and see what's really going on.
So right at the very top, we have the main branch. This one is sacred. You can think of it as the Holy Grail. Nothing gets into main unless it is absolutely 100% ready for production. And see those little tags, like tag 1.0.0? Each one of those marks an official version that's out there on the wild being used by real people.
Okay, so one level down from main, you've got the develop branch. This is where the action happens day to day. It's the central meeting point where all the new, finished features get combined. A great way to think about it is as the coming soon version of your next big release. So you might be asking, where does the actual coding get done? Well, that's what feature branches are for. A developer just creates a new branch right off of develop, and they can go build their new thing in their own little sandbox. They're totally isolated, so there's no fear of messing up what somebody else is working on.
Now this next part is super important. Once the develop branch is packed with enough cool new features for a release, you create a release branch. Think of this as the final dress rehearsal. It's a dedicated space for final testing, polishing up documentation, and squashing any last-minute bugs. And the best part, the rest of the team can keep on working on new stuff and develop without being held up.
So let's follow a single feature on its grand adventure, shall we? It's born from the develop branch. It grows up in its own little feature branch, and then it gets merged back into develop. From there, it moves to the release branch to get all cleaned up for the big show. And only after all of those careful, deliberate steps does it finally make it to the main branch and out to your users. It's a very intentional journey.
So what's the big takeaway here? Git flow is all about one thing: stability. It's absolutely perfect for projects that have those formal, scheduled releases. You know, like when you put out version 1.0, then you work on 1.1 and then 2.0. Think of things like desktop software or a big mobile app update.
But what if all that sounds a little slow? What if you need to move fast? Well, that brings us to our next model, which is less like a fortress and a whole lot more like a 6-lane freeway straight to production.
And just look at that. The difference is night and day, isn't it? This diagram is so much cleaner, so much simpler. There are way fewer lines to keep track of. And that's because this whole model is engineered for one thing and one thing only: pure speed and getting updates out the door constantly.
So take a second and just look at what's not there. See it? The develop branch? Gone. The release branch? Also gone. All those extra layers have been stripped away, leaving a super direct path for your code to travel.
In this simplified world, the main branch is pulling double duty. It's still the source of truth. It's what's live in production, but now it's also the starting line for all new development. Every single new feature branch gets created directly from main.
So yeah, developers are still working in their own isolated feature branches, just like in Git flow. But here's the crucial difference. It's all about the start and the end point. They branch off of main, and when they're done, they merge right back into main. Simple as that.
And look at how short and sweet this journey is. It's literally 3 steps: branch from main, build the thing, and merge it right back into main. Once it's tested and gets the green light, boom, it can be deployed. The whole cycle is incredibly fast.
All right, so we've got our fortress and we've got our freeway. Let's put them right next to each other and do a little head-to-head comparison to really nail down the differences and the trade-offs. This table really breaks it all down, doesn't it? You can see Git Flow on the left with all its extra branches, develop, release, acting like safety nets and buffers. That's where the complexity comes from. And then on the right, the simpler model just gets rid of them. It's all about that straight, low-complexity path to getting stuff delivered.
So if you boil it all down, here's the fundamental difference in philosophy. Git Flow is all about protecting main at all costs, using those extra branches as shields. The simpler model says, let's enable speed by merging completed work right back into main as fast as we can. It's that classic tug of war, stability versus speed.
But hang on, what happens when something breaks in production and you need a fix like yesterday? Well, this is one area where both models are on the exact same page. For those uh-oh moments, you create a special hotfix branch directly from main, you make the fix, and you merge it straight back in. So yeah, even the fortress has a secret emergency exit.
Okay, we've seen both sides. Now for the million-dollar question, which one is right for you? How do you actually pick the best workflow for your project and your team?
Look, it really boils down to this. If you're working on something with formal, numbered releases where stability is king, you're probably going to want the fortress of Git Flow. But if you're building, say, a web app that you're pushing updates to multiple times a day, then the freeway model is your friend. One really important thing to remember, though, that faster model absolutely relies on having great automated testing because you just don't have those extra manual checkpoints. Ultimately, there is no single best way, only the best fit for your team.
And that's really the question I want to leave you with. Take a look at your own projects. What do they need? Do you need the thick, protective walls of a fortress to ensure everything is perfect? Or do you need the wide-open lanes of a freeway to ship features as fast as humanly possible? The choice is all yours.